Everyone, I'm Kim with Abundant Life Tarot, and we are doing an unboxing of the Chrysalis Tarot, paintings by Holly Sierra, written by Tony Brooks. This is a U.S. Games tarot deck, and I know I've known about this deck for a really long time, and I have seen it. I have looked at videos, I've seen images, but I had not been called to get it. And I mean, it's been out for a long time, but I went to a new-ish store that just opened up in a nearby town. It's like a metaphysical store. It sells candles. It's got tarot and oracle decks. A great little mom and daughter shop. And it's like multi-generational. It's grandma, mom, and daughter, adult, I think young adult daughter. And I was blown away by the store and like the decks that they had available. But none of the decks called to me like this one. And this one had started to call to me probably a couple of months ago. I saw it in another, like a reading someone was doing online, I believe. And I said, this is interesting. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. Well, while I was at the metaphysical store, which I just think is absolutely amazing, by the way. I'll have to do a little plug in the description box. But when I was there, there was a tarot reader who turns out to also have a YouTube channel, and she was offering readings. And so I was like, sure, I'll get a reading. I don't normally feel the need to get a reading because I can do readings for myself. Well, she was like, well, she's started doing readings at this spot, and the store owner has allowed her to use 3 of her personal decks. And so one of the decks was this one, and this was on the table. And so she asked which deck I wanted for my personal reading. So I picked this one, and whoa, the reading was amazing. The cards are beautiful. And immediately after the reading, I had to go and purchase this deck from the store. So it was like, okay, done dealy. And yeah, I had some powerful stuff come through, and now I think I found a local tarot reader, one local tarot reader. I'm sure that I will have a couple that I will consult and maybe perhaps try to build a relationship with. It's cool to come across fellow tarot readers. So enough with all that. I can keep going on and on. But yeah, so this is totally spur of the moment. I got off work. I was like, I don't want to go straight home just yet. I had a gift certificate from my sister who got this gift certificate from the store on Christmas or for Christmas. So I had it and I was like, let's go. It was a stormy day. And I was like, it's Friday. I want to kind of celebrate my Friday and go and support a local business. And I went there, and yeah, it was great. And the reading was spot on. So, here, let's see how we open this without tearing up the... No, I might have to get up. Oh, it came out. So we'll see. I went ahead and ordered, there's, I guess, a guidebook, a more detailed site, the little white book that comes with it. I went ahead and ordered it on Amazon this evening, so we'll see how I like that. I don't even normally concern myself with the guidebook, but I thought since this might have some different images, it might be beneficial to have the Chrysalis guidebook. So, yeah. I didn't realize it was going to be wrapped there too. Yeah, I got some beautiful stuff. I got a rough piece of moonstone. I already have a piece of rainbow moonstone right here. A little piece. Just a little piece. I have black moonstone. I'm totally digressing. I like this little store. And I got a rough piece of moonstone, and I had been wanting a rough piece for a long time, and there were bigger pieces that they had at the store for really inexpensive, but this one called to me. I really wanted this one, and I'm happy. This is from my own personal collection, not for me to sell. So there's that. Pick me up a little bit of personal use. Palo Santo, and this deck that we'll see how we get along here. But yeah, this card came up for me, the Merlin, and it's quite a beautiful reading. Here are the card backs. Look at that. It's reversible. And there are borders, but somehow to me they work. Merlin, the hero, so it's like the full card. Ravens, the magician. Sorceress, the high priestess. There's a certain energy to this deck. I can't even describe it. It's like Gaia, the Empress. It's a magical, mystical energy that's present, that has its own body, its own feel. Green Man, the Emperor. And I was not expecting it. I don't even know what the other decks were that they had on the table either. Divine Child, the Hierophant. I guess I could have asked to see the images, but I just was like, no, I want the Chrysalis. I instantly recognized it with the backs. Lovers, the Lovers. Do you have a particular deck that you've known for a long time? It's almost like a relationship, right? You know how certain relationships come about. You've known each other a long time. You ran in similar circles, but you never crossed paths. And then one day you just had to. Hearn, the Hunter, the Chariot. I like that Chariot a lot. I really like this deck. Matt, Justice. Storyteller, the Hermit. This also came up in my reading. And I was just like, oh, look at that. Wheel, the Wheel of Fortune. Papa Legba, Strength, Papa Legba. Celtic Owl, the Hanged Man. Death. I'm not going to even try to pronounce that. This is Temperance, Golden Flower. You can see Temperance in that. And I suppose in terms of like a beginner, I don't know if this is really a beginner deck. That was the impression that I got, was that I wasn't sure if this was really a beginner deck. And so for me, I was like, I don't know. But after a while, as you start to grow into your tarot practice, you may want to start exploring different decks that have different systems, have different ways of interpreting the cards, different takes on the images. You know, it's good for your reading capabilities, stretching your repertoire, how far you go with your readings, what your mind, what can be drawn even further with a particular deck. And I think that's why a lot of people get multiple decks. It's because they're hoping that each of these decks are scratching at different aspects of their psyche. Kali, the Tower. I love this Tower card. Here's a star. Alpi. Moon. The moon. When I was probably between the ages of 14 and 16, I had a journal that had the celestial sun, and you know how it's like the dark blue with the gold sun and moon, and here's the sun. And I wrote poems, and I was learning French. I took about 4 years of French. Don't ask me to speak French now. I can't speak a lick of it, but I did take 4 years of it. And I wrote poems to try to help me to understand French. I wrote poems in French, and I wrote it in a journal that looked like this. And unfortunately, I lost that journal when I totaled my car, and the car was taken away because it was, you know, damaged beyond repair. So it was taken by a salvage yard, and I lost my book of poems that looked just like that. That had this feel of this deck. Makes me sad. You know, it's probably cheesy little teen angst poems, but it was my little stab at French and writing. So, Phoenix, Judgment. Psyche, the world. Ace of Stones. I believe stones are pentacles. And I had a lot of cups in my 2 readings that she did for me, which is interesting. I was like, oh, I've been feeling like that too. 2 of Stones. Love that. I love that there are animals in this deck, but it's not overrun with animals. Like, I have been toying with like looking for a tarot deck with that featured animals, since I have now 2 animal decks. But then nothing called to me. So I like that I get a taste of animals with this deck, and it's not overwhelming. 3 of Stones. And sometimes it's nice to break up a human experience with some animals too. 4 of Stones. Because sometimes humans can be too much to look at and too much to take on. And I like that this deck is diverse in different ways. It's diverse in, okay, there's no animals or people in this image. In this one we have animals, and there's a fairy or human embodiment here. 5 of Stones, so I can see that with the 5 of Pentacles. And you get the green. This is green for the Pentacles, or for the earth element. 6 of Stones. I totally see the traditional meaning here with the balance of the 2 pretty earth elements here, of these little crystal bangle things hanging from the tree. 7 of Stones. 8 of Stones. 9 of Stones. I like this 9 of Stones a lot. This is traditionally the 9 of Pentacles. 10 of Stones. Ace of Mirrors. So now we're moving into the cups or water energy. 2 of Mirrors. 3 of Mirrors. 4 of Mirrors. 5 of Mirrors. Six of Mirrors. Seven of Mirrors. Mirror above her is cracked. Curious about that. Eight of Mirrors. Normally, with the Eight of Cups, it would be having the person walking away and not towards us, but away from us. That's interesting. Interesting vantage point. And with that change, that slight shift of just having the person as opposed to walking away from us, but walking towards us, it can bring about a different kind of reading experience. You could interpret it in a different fashion when you see the Eight of Mirrors. You're like, Nine of Mirrors. It's really busy, but it's beautiful. Ten of Mirrors. Ace of Spirals. Two of Spirals. Three of Spirals. Four of Spirals. I love this. Five of Spirals, which I believe is Wands. Six of Spirals. Seven of Spirals. Eight of Spirals. Nine of Spirals. And I have to say, I really like this stock. We'll see how it shuffles. 10 of Spirals. Here's the Ace of Scrolls, which would be traditionally the swords, right? Beautiful. Two of Scrolls. Sad. Three of Scrolls. I see Four of Scrolls here. Very traditional Four of Scrolls, if you ask me. Here is the Five of Scrolls, which is not necessarily a traditional depiction of the Five of Swords. Six of Scrolls as well. It's a little different. Seven of Scrolls. Also different than what we're accustomed to with the Rider-Waite, or with Thoth for that matter. But that's okay. Eight of Scrolls. I may, just use this deck for myself for a while, or just readings for myself and maybe my sister, or close peeps. And then as I get familiar with it, if I'm called to use it in readings for others, outside of that, then I will. Nine of Scrolls. I like that. Not that I like someone crying, but yeah. Yeah, some of the scrolls to me, I don't know if they have the traditional meaning. 10 of Scrolls. Now we're going to have enter the court cards. The Minstrel, King of Stones. The Artiste, Queen of Stones. That's beautiful. That's a good Queen of Earth energy. The Illusionist, Knight of Stones. The Acrobat, Page of Stones. The Sojourner, King of Mirrors. the Watcher, Queen of Mirrors. Okay, I had this one come up too. It was a card that jumped. And that's the one I was like, yeah, I'm definitely in that mode right now. The Dreamer, Knight of Mirrors. The Healer, Page of Mirrors. The Companion, King of Spirals. The Muse, Queen of Spirals. It's blurry. I like the Queen of Spirals. Beautiful. The Corsair, Knight of Spirals. The Mime, Page of Spirals. Cute. I like that the gesture is not like your traditional full. It's cool. The Mime, Page of Spirals. The Poet, King of Scrolls. The Weaver, Queen of Scrolls. The Visionary, Knight of Scrolls. The Pilgrim, Page of Scrolls. Let's see. Okay, let's see how they shuffle. Let's see, this is, I'm like wondering, it's kind of a thickish card, but it shuffles really nicely. Doesn't have a lot of give though, so that's good. It's going to be a quality deck perhaps. And US Games typically does make a good quality deck. Oh, look at that. We got 2 of Spirals jumping. We'll see how the guidebook gets along. 9 of Scrolls reverse. Let's see. I'm not going to read all of these. We'll just kind of tuck those back. We'll see from there. So, got with the guidebook, introduction, gonna go straight into the meanings. Let's see what it offers. It has Pentagram, 5-card spread, the Pilgrim, the Visionary. Oh, these look like more card meanings. Looks like just one spread. Alright, that's okay. Let's go to the spirals. It says 2 of Spirals. Keyword is choice. This card is about making choices and planning ahead, just as this little bird is doing. The 2 of Spirals cautions that all information needed to make an informed decision may not yet be apparent. The bird feeds her instinctive creative energies while patiently discerning between her choices, depicted by contrasting patterns of spiraling energy. Our clever mother-to-be chose to build in a mulberry tree, a symbol of wisdom and patience. The 2 of Spirals tells you to weigh pros and cons carefully in the matters before you. Then be patient and choose wisely. Nice. There is no reversal, so I can see. I think it's more, maybe it's more designed to be of a softer deck in that regard, but you could, you know, do your own reversals. You don't need to rely on the guidebook to dictate whether or not you use reversals. And then we have the 9 of Scrolls. I'm curious to see. Okay. key word is despair. The Nine of Scrolls illustrates despair and anguish brought about by subconsciously entombed aspects of the personality. This angelic messenger, symbolizing trauma, is exhausted from dealing with a difficult hurdle before you're able to complete an important growth cycle. In your reading, the Nine of Scrolls means you're struggling with overblown fears. Upon introspection, you may find you're projecting long repressed issues onto friends and family. Nightmares can result from buried guilt, regret, and other emotional baggage. The turmoil will dissipate as you assume greater responsibility for your own well-being. And this has you now, with the Two of Spirals, taking those strides to do so, to take control, to get ahead of that despair. All right. So that's that, guys. That's my latest little connection with the deck. I enjoyed it immensely. I'm kind of excited about doing readings with it. So, yeah. Stay tuned for more videos. You may just see it pop up. All right, y'all. Let me know what you think. Love to hear from you, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.